Here we are on the Euro Yen 240 and we've had a triangle set up. Now, I wasn't able to get involved at this first of all, so I've actually waited for the breakout, and as you can see here what happened, just let me find my mouse. And what happened here is that we rallied up on this 4-hourly candle, got a big rejection, and then we broke out here on the next 4-hourly with a very strong and bullish candle. However, it did not make a initial high or a violation, but nevertheless the pattern is the pattern. This is a triangle pattern, and technically now we've broken across the structure level for me in this scenario, and so I was just simply waiting for a pullback. And now the Euro Yen has a big ATR, so if we look at the trade, first of all, with a triangle I do need this to have made a initial structure high, and as you can see looking left we have done that. And if we zoom out and look even further left, this was a major level of structure that had been tested, so this is a pullback into it, and I've entered based on a 15-minute structure, which I'll show you in a minute, which is classed as major structure, and I'm playing for the 127 up here at 131.72s. So what I'm just going to do now is I will just bring back on the orders just so you can see. So there you go, 131.71 is actually for my targets, and I'm going to drop down to the 15-minute time frame and just show you how I've managed to get my entry on this particular trade. Okay, so let's take off these VS1 levels, and what I'm looking at is this level of structure here. So I'm just going to make this a different colour for now, just make it yellow. And if we look here, we can see that we had a double top. We can see it was also tested here. You can see that we had a little rejection before we broke through, and just back here as well we've got that, and then we have a zone here. Okay, now you've got to remember that the 15-minute is not my trading time frame, the 60 or 4-hourly is, and that's it's my trading time frame because structure is on the 60-minute time frame 4 times stronger than it is here on the 15-minute time frame. So when I look at the 15-minute and I see how well this trend line has been adhered to, the structure level, then I say to myself, well, this is a very decent level. And then I look at why has this been respected so well in the past. And if we look right, we can see that actually it comes in at the 131 flat, so an even handled number. So I can say to myself here, well, the pattern is the pattern. We've already technically had the breakout, though because of that wick we didn't, but we broke out, we've pulled back into major structure, and right here we have a structure level, but also we have the 131 flat. So if I can bring my orders back on here, I can simply look at this and say, well, if we were to violate this level here and here, then, or sorry, if I can get my stop below this level here and here, as I have done, and underneath that 131 flat, then I stand a good opportunity of the market turning at this point and continuing up to targets. Now, if this fails and I'm stopped out and we see a move lower to potentially to retest the channel here, well, that's fine. What I'll do is I'll wait for an entry signal here and then I'll get involved again. So right now we're risking 25 pips for 65, so we have just over a 2.5 to 1 here, and we will come back and see whether or not this structure level, this major structure level at this psychological number holds as it has done in the past, and we get that continuation to the upside. And we're back on the Euro Yen, and a few hours has passed and not much has happened, to be honest. It's almost 10 o'clock, so I just thought I'd give a little bit of an update. As you can see, we did actually come down into that resistance zone. I think we spiked maybe 15 pips in arrears and we pulled back, and we're currently holding that, and so we'll come back and see if this trade hits in the night or whether or not we're still in the trade tomorrow morning. And we're back. Just a little update on this trade. We are now putting in a new high. This candle hasn't closed. We've got another 25 minutes till it does, but we are now pushing above and hopefully going to close above this level. And I do expect some resistance here as well, but hopefully we can push through that over the next few hours. Currently 33 pips up. We will come back when we're hopefully a bit closer to those targets. So we're back here on the Euro Yen 240, and we were stopped out for break even. Now this is going to be an interesting scenario because I was actually stopped out, sorry, for plus 5 pips, and what happened is we came 4 pips from target, though if you remember I did talk about that we do have the potential to come up to this major structure level here, which is going to be 131.90s. So even though we came 4 pips from my targets, we actually have come around 20 pips away from retesting the candle bodies. And I was out when I got stopped out, but when I came back, the first thing I always want to do is analyze what happened. Why did it turn at that area? Was the news out? Was there a psychological number? Was there an area, a structure that I'd missed? And there's absolutely nothing. So what I then do is I then go back and look. Well, let's say nothing. There is this minor level of structure here, but we still haven't retested the highs. And so what I do is I drop down to my trading time frame, and in this instance it would be the 60, and I have a look what's actually happened. And we know that we have the psychological number 131 flat. The market rolled over, hit that 131 flat, and has put in a very, very nice pin bar, a rejection bar, and it's actually held this level on the 60-minute time frame. And so we've held it at the structure level at the 31 flat. What I can do is say, okay, we do actually have room to go a little higher, but rather than play for those extended targets at 131.90, let's just see if we can get a little pullback here to the tops, because as you see, this top has been tested 3 times here. We failed to penetrate it, but we could potentially retest it again based on this hourly candle, the 131 flat. And if we drop down to the lower time frames and we have a look what's going on, we have a very, very nice looking head and shoulders setting up. And here is the left shoulder, here is the head, and we've just come down to the right shoulder now. Now I am trading this head and shoulders differently to the way I usually trade it, and usually I need the right shoulder to violate the left shoulder and a pullback and then an entry reason. However, based on the hourly, the rejection candle, the 131 flat, the hitting the trend line again, not going to the expected target, I've been able to enter this a little bit more aggressively. And the reason I'm following this on from the first video is because I still believe that the pattern is still valid, and I have a valid reason to enter, and I have more confirming we're going to go higher than going lower. But at the same time, I still want to be cautious. So here's the orders. I've managed to get in here with 10 pips of risk. Okay, my stop is literally at the retest of the lows here, and my reward is going to be up at this level at the psychological number 131.50s, but I'm front running by 2 pips. And so even though I was stopped out of that trade for break even, which I gotta say absolutely stinks, I was up 60 pips, and we only needed to go up another 4. But you know, sometimes these things happen, and because I got in late in this pattern, my stop wasn't in the best place anyway, and so ideally my stop needed to have been down here below these swing lows. So here we are, valid reason to re-enter. So I got skunked out and I made 5 pips, but I've now risked 9 for a potential 46. So the trade isn't over, we're back in it. So let's come back and see if we can trend higher, and really I want to break above this zone here, and then a continuation to my targets. And we're back, and unfortunately the head and shoulders never materialized. So that was a loss of 9 pips, but I made 5 before. That means I'm down I'm down 4 plus the fees for entering and exit, so maybe 6-7 pips down, something like that. But one of those things, we came close to targets, but we just never got them. So that is one trade that escaped today.